Yeah, hi there. These comments are for AA. I'm just using your initials for privacy purposes. I just read your integrated writing practice test on hybrid cars. So thank you for completing the practice test. So let's take a look at it. You say the listening talks about hybrid cars and especially cons and just a little bit pros. First of all, the lecture says that gas prices go up and down with each season and could be achieved 4.9 or more. So this leads that many consumers and some governments will let us shift to green power and buy a hybrid because we have better fuel economy, whereas the hybrid cars can run on the road much longer than gas cars, and this will reduce the demand on gas exactly as what the reading passage discusses. Also, they discuss that hybrid cars reduce emissions because of the hybrids engine don't require and burn too much fuel, so that very helpful, whereas no air pollution. Finally, the lecture finds two problems for a battery. It's very heavy, it takes a large place on the car. And then you say if the consumers try to replace a battery, it will cost much, even though the reading passage says that the battery has improved these days. All right, thank you for doing that. Now, I would recommend a little bit better organization here. In fact, you could probably separate your ideas into 5 paragraphs. Your introduction, then your paragraphs 2, 3, and 4, and then your conclusion. In your body paragraphs 2, 3, and 4, what you can do is you can discuss the first key point in the reading along with the first counterpoint in the listening. Then you go on to your next paragraph, you discuss the second point in the reading along with the second counterpoint in the listening. And then in that fourth paragraph, you can discuss the third point in the reading along with the third counterpoint in the listening. And I don't think you really have all of the information either. So you say one, let me just give you one example, and then I want to go over a possible way to respond to this. You say the two problems are the battery is heavy and it takes a large place on the car. And I think what you're saying here, you didn't say, is because of the heavy battery, the gas mileage may not be as good as they claim it to be. That's the point they're trying to make. The heavy battery reduces the gas mileage that they actually claim. And then you also say the battery will cost too much, and I think the point was it's not just the high cost of the battery, but the cost of the battery may outweigh the gas savings that you may find with a hybrid car. So you didn't quite make, I think, all the required connections, I think, with the lecture and also with the reading passage. Now let's take a look at the actual the main points here. So in your second paragraph, or in your first paragraph, you should say something like this. The reading passage discusses 3 advantages of hybrid cars, while the listening passage disagrees with each of these advantages. So the first claim in the reading passage is the fuel economy, is that the hybrid cars get very, very good gas mileage. In fact, it says that the hybrid Camry will get 43 miles per gallon in the city and then 39 miles per gallon in the highway. Now, you didn't even mention that detail. I think that was an important detail to help illustrate the gas savings you can get with a hybrid car. Now, in that same paragraph, you need to go to the listening counterpoint, which is this. You didn't really say this, is that gas engines also provide competitive miles per gallon on the highway. And the example the lecture gives is the diesel engine car, the 2013 Volkswagen TDI, can get 43 miles per gallon on the highway. And the whole point of giving that example is to show how these engine cars have comparable gas mileage to their hybrid counterparts. That was the point, I think, in the listening, was to help show that idea. You didn't really bring that out in your response. Now let's go to the second point. The second point that's being made in the reading is the hybrid reduces emissions. And that's good for the environment. Now, you didn't mention this. You should have brought this out. This is very important. The listening is saying that In order to produce hybrid cars, they have to use electricity. In order to get electricity, we have to burn coal, natural gas, and oil. So the point is the manufacturer of the hybrid cars does use electricity, and to get electricity, we have to produce harmful emissions. So that was the counterpoint to that second point in the reading. Now the final point that the reading was making was this, is battery technology for hybrid vehicles has significantly improved. So they're more dependable, and that consumers can rely on them as a result. That was, I think, the main point in the reading. Now, you tried to bring this point out, but you didn't quite make it. You're having a lot of vocabulary and some grammar limitations, I think, which are preventing you from fully making the connections. So according to the listening passage, there are two different, I think, challenges to the point made in the reading. The first one is the miles per gallon that's posted on the sticker for hybrid cars might not be attainable because of the heavy battery that's needed in order for the hybrid car to run. That was, I think, one main point. Now the second point was this, is the cost to replace the battery when the battery that the hybrids use, when maybe it dies, it may outweigh the savings that these cars get in gas money. So I think that was the second issue that I think was important in the listening. You didn't really bring that out. Now, the next question is, how do you score on this essay? So your essay is just, it needs to be organized better, like I said, probably into 5 different paragraphs, but that's not really going to save you here. What's going to save you and help you score higher is you need to more completely and more accurately discuss the information in the reading and the lecture, and specifically show how the lecture disagrees with each of the points made in the reading. So I don't think your essay really did that. So you misrepresented information, you left out important information, and that will cause your score to go a little bit lower. Okay, so in this particular practice test, I'm going to put you at 2.0 out of 5, or about 14 points out of 30 on this particular assignment. So this is not, I'll be honest with you, this is not up to par. For a graduate level writing, your essay falls fairly short. However, you can get better, but to improve, you have to really work on a few things here. So I would recommend check out my speaking. It's my speaking lesson number 7. It also will help you with writing. Trust me, it shows you how to more coherently organize your ideas. Now, your other problems are a little bit more complex because you're having vocabulary issues and also grammatical issues. So with your vocabulary issues, keep working in my vocabulary lesson number 3, vocabulary lesson number 4, vocabulary lesson number 5, and finally vocabulary lesson number 6. So you have to really boost your vocabulary if you want to more fully express your ideas. So I think that's important. Also take a look at my grammar lesson number 7, and that will give you a lot of good practice to help you reduce some of the editing issues you might be having with your writing. But anyway, thank you very much for completing the practice test. And for the purposes of this class, a 2.0, it translates into a 64 out of 100 for this writing assignment. All right, thank you very much.